Page 345, Chapter 16. And words of wisdom are given to you through the true prophets, which you shall heed and follow, so that it shall be well with you. Do not follow the advice of the deniers of the truth, neither take the way of those who are unfair ones or irresponsible ones, nor sit amongst the mockers, because they tread the truth down with their feet. Follow at all times the laws and recommendations of the creation, and have a desire for love and for peace at all times. Be in the truth like a tree that is planted along streams of water and brings forth good fruits, with leaves that never wither. The ones having no knowledge of the truth are like useless chaff of the grain, which are scattered by the wind, because all of their wrong actions are without weight and without value, and their words are like mist and smoke and without power. The laws and recommendations of the creation of all things, or creation, are created for the striving towards true love, for the striving towards knowledge and wisdom, and for the best possible moral and virtuous flawlessness or perfection. Each person of your kind or human being has received natural gifts through the laws and recommendations of the creation of all things, or creation. The powers of the body, the cognition or rationality, and the true discernment or intellect of the inner world or consciousness, the psyche and the thoughts and feelings. And it is the task of each person of your kind or human being to allow all these powers to grow forth or evolve, and to create capabilities from them, and to discover new things and to allow them to grow or evolve. Truly, continued practice leads to proficiency or capability, and to strength and mastery, and whoever has accustomed themselves to doing truthful, i.e., infallible things, through continued practice, will do good things with ease, with joy, and with certainty, and be full of virtue. And every virtue helps to make it easy, joyful, and certain to do the good, the fair or responsible, and the righteous or conscientious. And every one amongst you can acquire virtues by striving to form their character, and to instruct and educate themselves. And this personal discipline, or self-education, must never cease during the entire life. In order to give enough consideration to the real truth which is given through the laws and recommendations of the creation of all things, or creation, it is, however, not sufficient merely to dutifully carry out the natural powers and acquired virtues, because the truth requires very much more, namely also the power to act, or energy, that proceeds from the creative power, or spirit form, in people of your kind, or human beings, and which animates the body with its inner world, or consciousness, its psyche, and its thoughts and feelings. It is the natural, creative, powerful, or spirit creational energy through which people of your kind, or human beings, are animated out of its creative power, or spirit form. The powers are given through the animation of the body, but people of your kind, or human beings, must bring forth, or work out, the virtues themselves, by integrating themselves into the creative, powerful, or creational laws and recommendations, and following them in a responsible wise. It is from the inner world, or consciousness, that spring forth the thoughts, and out of these the feelings, which in turn are forming the psyche, and with this people of your kind, or human beings, must form their character and their virtues, as well as their individual being or personality, according to the guidelines of the laws and recommendations of the creation of all things, or creation, and therefore according to their guidelines or instructions. Virtue is a capability or ability, i.e., a characteristic through which people of your kind, or human beings, show the sublime of every characteristic of their character. The virtues, in this case, are manifold and relate both to the moral behavior and the moral values, as well as to the true discernment or intellect and wisdom, as well as to the teaching of ethics and morality, which finds its value in keeping to the rightful middle between extremes. Truthfully love, which also includes love for the next one, is regarded as significant virtue. Virtue is also the readiness to bring about moral values in mentality and actions. All people of your kind, or human beings, can acquire virtues, and truthfully it is also their duty to form their character and their virtues, which means that they must enable or educate themselves, and the process of learning virtues and forming the character is personal discipline or self-education, which must never cease for as long as people of your kind or human beings live. However, in order for people of your kind or human beings to become ones having knowledge of the truth with regard to the creative, powerful, or creational laws and recommendations, and their mode of functioning, it is not sufficient to have only the naturally obtained powers of virtues, because truthfully, the laws and recommendations of the creation of all things, or creation, must be recognized and evaluated in such a wise that they can be applied usefully in all circumstances or situations of the life. This means that the laws and recommendations must be recognized, used, and followed in accordance with their effects, so that well thought out causes are created which become very specific effects resulting from these causes. Knowing the creative, powerful, or creational laws and recommendations, as they are perceived, for example, in the free appearance or nature as signs or evidence of their activity or energy and mode of functioning, is a basic prerequisite for them to be followed in the first place. Therefore, the principle is given that a success, and therefore knowledge and wisdom, can only be achieved through cognizance and knowledge. However, in order for people of your kind, or human beings, to perceive any of this, to act accordingly, and to obtain success from it, it is necessary that the required power is given, which people of your kind, or human beings, acquire themselves, namely in such a wise that they motivate themselves for it, in which case the motivation is also a virtue. There are no supernatural virtues which might have been given by a god, for example, because godheads, as fabulated or invented insubstantialities, are not capable of distributing any virtues. Rather, virtues, if they are not endowed or genetically bequeathed in small parts by parents, must be acquired by people of your kind, or human beings yourselves, through your own discipline or self-education. Therefore, there are no godly virtues as is taught by false prophets, but only virtues that are fathomed out or worked out by people of your kind or human beings, or are transferred in small parts through endowment or heredity from parents. Belief is thereby no virtue, rather a desire for something of which is assumed that it can be beseeched and worshipped and can provide help, although as an assumed or fictitious being it is invisible and fully powerless or incapable, and is not able to bring either harm or benefit or success. Virtues are not the gifts of fabulated or invented gods, rather they are the gifts of decency, of recognition or rationality, and of true discernment or intellect, of character, and the entirety of the nobleness that you bring forth or create in yourselves. However, virtue only originates in people of your kind, or human beings, if you turn yourselves to the truth and to its honesty, and you are moral in yourselves in its sense.